Hello everyone, welcome back to NityaCloudtech. Hope all of you are doing good. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the important concept in Azure Data Factory is parameterized link services. Basically, I have already mentioned in my previous video about link services. Link services is nothing. It is hello everyone, welcome back to NityaCloudtech. Hope all of you are doing good. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the important concept in Azure Data Factory is parameterized link services. So basically, link services we have already talked about in our previous video. It is nothing, just it is a connection string to connect from the data set. Basically, your data source. It may be SQL Server, it may be cloud, it may be Excel. So now let's suppose if I talk about any real-time scenario or any like data warehousing project where we have different environment. Let's say we have testing environment and we have dev environment and we have prod environment. Okay, now I have to create a link services to connect with all these environments. So do you think do I need to create all three different link services for all these environment? So like if I create directly link services, so yeah, I need to create. But if I use the functionality parameterized link services, then I can create only one link service and then I can use in all of these like testing dev pro. So in real time scenario, what we do, we generally first dev we generally first execute our code in dev environment, and once the code is developed, we do testing in test environment. Once testing is done, then we move the code to prod. So for that there are multiple database objects, so we don't need to create different link services for each of the object. So we can create simply one link services for each of the environment. So let me show you how we can do in Azure Data Factory. So if you see here, definition which is from Microsoft website. Microsoft basically uh, login, or I can say Microsoft has provided this definition. You can now parameterize a link services and pass dynamic value at runtime. So basically, you can pass dynamic value at runtime. You don't need to, keep your value static. For example, if you want to connect to different databases or same logical server, you can now use the parameterize the database name in the link services definition. So this prevents you from having created a link service for each database. Okay, you can parameterize other properties in the link services like definition, for example, username. So I have already mentioned. And like if I talk about they have supported link services type. Basically, they have this list. For this list, they provide link services. So there are multiple Amazon that say PS3, Databricks, file storage. So this will keep changing. I mean, data source is keep including here. Okay, so let me create pipeline. So here, source would be static and the destination would be dynamic. So I'm taking copy activity and then I will create source and sync. Let me minimize this. So source, let's create source first. So new, and it is coming from the Azure blob storage. So I can put here Azure. There are 100, and after that there may be 150, or like as per the um, scenario, or as per like Microsoft include. Now let's move into the Azure Data Factory, and I will try to show you creating a Azure Data Factory, and then I will use links parameterized link services in that. and I can give name ds source, and it is pointing to Azure below storage 1. That's fine. I need to select the file. So my file is customer here. Okay. So it is set. Now sync. So let me create sync. This would be the dynamic. So I need to select database. Database is SQL, and I can say ds SQL destination, and link service I will create dynamic. So SQL server dyn dynamic ls link service SQL. Okay. Now, if you see this, I have these four things: server name, database name, and username and password. So this is basically my connection string. So if I try to show you, I have already created two database in Azure Data Factory, and I already configured, and I can show you here. So I have this one, prod and demo server. So these two are my database. So you can consider one is the prod environment and other one is the dev environment. And if I show you here, so you can see here also, here I have created this one. So if I click on SQL database, so I have this one, demo DB and prod DB. Okay. Now I have option, either I can run my table here or here, depending on the requirement. So let me show you how we will make this process, what all settings we need to make here. So let's move here. If you see this server name, if I click here, so I have this option dynamic. Similarly, database name and username and password. So what I will do first, I will create parameter. So if you see this option parameter, I will click here and I will click on new, and I will mention here server name, and then new DB name, and then again username, and then password. Okay, so now if I need to run, let's say, this demo one, so what I will do, I will click here and copy this demo server, and then I will basically paste here. Okay, similarly DB name, then again I will go here, and then this is my DB name, so I can demo DB, I can just write demo DB. Username I remember. Okay, so my username is demo, and I'm mentioning password. Okay, let me minimize this, and now I will make this dynamic. So I will click here. In server name, I will pass the server name parameter C. Similarly, in database name, I will pass the database parameter DB name, and in username, I will pass the username parameter, and in password, I will pass the password parameter. Okay, now I can do test connection. Yeah, okay, so it will check. See, connection successful. Now I can make this okay. So you can see this is dynamic. Now I don't need to do anything here. I just need to change my parameter value, my database. Let's say if I need to run now in prod, so what I will do, I will go here and copy my prod server, and then I will pass prod value. Similarly, I can pass the DB value and username like this. So it may be test, it may be 3, or it may be multiple, more than 3 environment. So I just need to pass the values. I hope this is helpful for you guys. So now let me create this. Okay, create successful. Okay, now I can use this, and if I go down, I need insert, and okay, so do I need to make any setting? I'm just checking. Source is also fine. Let me open this. So I can say this, my first row as an header, and then in sync also check. Do I need to make any setting? Yeah, I need to select my table name here. So I will click here, and it is not showing. Let me check why it is. Refresh this. See, DBO customer, it is showing. Okay, now it's fine. I can move. I can test connection here as well. I can do, and source also fine. Now I can do mapping. So mapping, I can click here on import schemas. So I have this, see, my name, so name, and the match to name, and this one is job. See, so now it is mapped. I have only 2 columns. I may have multiple columns, and I can publish this. Once it is published, I can validate. So yeah, it is published, and it is your pipeline has been validated. Publishing completed. So if I show you in manage, this is the link services. So if you see, this is the code, JSON code. So you can see that my server name. So I pass this server name, and the DB name, and the username, and this password. So like this, you can do basically. Okay. Now I can run this, and after running this, it will be executed and data would be loaded like I have already showed. Okay, so I hope this would be helpful for you. Thank you, everyone.